So this is something I just uploaded a picture to my Instagram. It's Fairfeld308, by the way, guys, if you want to follow me there. And yes, it is this idea of money, passport, and a gun. Basically, that's what you need so as to get by. Folks, Fernando doing a video for Modern Survivalists, and I thought I'd do a video about how to get started in modern survivalism, at least my take on it, my take on what modern survivalism is. Now, I thought about doing this because there's a lot of new folks in the channel, especially since coronavirus. There's been a lot of new subscribers, and now with all going down in terms of Black Lives Matter, social unrest across the United States, and all that sort of thing, there's like, preppers are like in shock and not exactly knowing what to do. But this has been my bread and butter for many years. I mean, this is how I got started into survival and preparedness, and that's why I got this idea of, modern survivalism as something that applies to a more practical aspect of preparedness. It is not so much about having a bug-out bag, which is basically like a backpack full of camping gear and a few other things, but more of this stuff that you're seeing right now in terms of civil unrest, in terms of anarchy on the street, of political madness, of communism burning down your country. Yes, it sucks. It's something I can relate a lot to. It's man, yes, I saw it firsthand. It is still ongoing, and I don't have lots of great news for you folks. It will not go away anytime soon. It is the kind of thing that destroys your country. Man, I don't think that a lot of people saw this coming. I guess I could have told you some of this, and I have in fact told you guys some of this from even a couple years ago. Most certainly last year it was obvious what was going down. But when these things happen, it's not just, it's a complex topic. It doesn't happen immediately. There's different layers to it. It's rooted very deeply in society, and it eventually just goes through those cracks until it just blows up and everyone goes nuts. But it's been there for a long time. And no, I'm not talking about racism, because that's not it. I'm talking about this social justice warrior crap, this virtue signaling, this losing to the mob, which is the new politics in the United States. These last couple days, the United States has turned into Argentina. Believe it or not, you have anarchy on the streets. Not only that, you have the anarchists dictating how you run your country. You have anarchists telling you what the police should be doing, and they actually do that. You have politicians literally bowing to them, and that has become your country as of right now. It sucks, it's a pain in the ass, but it's the reality you have to deal with, and for all of that, you are in this channel. So what is it that you should be prioritizing? What's the main thing? You somehow landed here and you're, okay, Fernando, let me know what I should be doing. What should I buy? Well, first of all, it's not about buying stuff. First of all, the key about modern survivalism is knowledge. In my case, I of course have my books, and the one I recommend is this one, specifically for what's happening right now. You want to get street survival skills. This is my last book, and it's tailor-made to what you're seeing right now in terms of self-defense, in terms of reading what the media is trying to put into your head, in terms of dealing with these masses of bastards, this crowd that will break your head one instant, and the moment you defend yourself, they will cry out racism, because that is the new normal, and it has nothing to do with coronavirus. It has a lot to do with this insanity of the mob dictates what is okay and what's not, what goes and what doesn't. Fill your head with valuable knowledge. Learn stuff that is useful and learn it from people that have a voice and have a reputation out there. One of the big compromises I did when I first started writing, and especially when I first became public, sure, I'm the smallest little fish in the pond in terms of YouTube, little channel with less than barely 50,000 subscribers, but I'm public. I put my face out there, my face and my name. Now, why did I do that? Because it goes against the typical, philosophy of the gray man approach of just stay hidden in the crowd. Well, because if I was going to be doing this, I needed you guys watching this to believe what I'm saying. I mean, for years I've been told, when I was a little bit more active in the prepper forums and such, I've had people that said, you're not someone from Argentina, you're just an American guy in his mom's basement, then you're whatever, you're not a real person or whatnot. Yes, you have to put yourself out there so as to be believable. Now, that is one of the things that you probably don't want to do unless you really have to and make that conscious decision. So staying below the radar, that's a good call. But going back to the first thing that you should be doing in terms of getting started in modern survivalism, learn valuable information. My channel has been going on for several years. It is packed full of all sorts of topics. You can use that so as to get a lot of valuable information. If not, you can get my book, which is also a great resource for you. But the channel itself, completely free, just a little bit of time browsing through it and kind of getting my take on all of this. Besides the knowledge, your most valuable tool is not this. It is this. It is your body, your physical main tool. And care for it, look after it. Stay healthy, try working out, try finding activities that cover different basics and several of these key ones at the same time. What I mean by this is, find an activity you enjoy doing. You can train on martial arts, self-defense, stay healthy, work out a sweat, get a good cardiovascular level going, staying fit, and at the same time socializing with people that have somewhat of your same mentality. That's one of the best things you can do for yourself. Then there's this, and I'm not talking about cans of beans, I'm talking about food. Food is definitely one of those things that you want to get started with, and build up a reasonable supply of food. Means of purifying and making water safe to drink. Our friends at Berkey Guy, that's a great resource as well. If you don't have a Berkey filter, that's something you most definitely should be getting. But food and water, those are your priorities. One of the things I see that people get kind of lost with all of this is, okay, what do I have to buy? I have to buy guns, I have to buy knives, I have to buy this, that. It's really not all that much about buying stuff. If you have, I go back to this thing about, your gun, cash, and passport. That is kind of like the tools I could get by with easily enough. Even just leave me this. I bugged out of Argentina with just these, passport, money, and the plane ticket, and that is basically all I needed. With the right mindset, with the right knowledge, you can get by, you can overcome any other kind of adversity. This one is kind of a big deal though. This one is kind of important. And guys, if you are right now in the United States and you're worried about your entire country becoming the Chaz, which that's where I ended up. I ended up with my entire country becoming the Chaz. It is, I try to laugh about it because, that's, if not, you get depressed by it. But yes, my entire country became the Chaz. That's why I left. And I got a lot of crap over the years. Oh, you left your country, you ran. Well, yeah, it's not an easy choice, but I chose to live. I chose to enjoy my life and not get eaten by my own Black Lives Matter, which is Preparedness, that populist crap that poison that ruins a nation, a little bit like Black Lives Matter right now. What would you do if your entire country gets overruled and taken over by Black Lives Matter? I guess that some will stay and fight and do whatever it is, but there's a lot of people that may choose different, that may choose to live their lives and not, become martyrs of the cause or whatever. If that's the case, the passport, the ability to move around, that is a pretty big deal, and again, I try to go back to anyone watching this for the first time and trying to get started on all of this. Okay, what do I buy? What do I actually do? Well, a lot of this is not about buying stuff. A lot of this is about, yeah, sure, you can buy my book, but you can also watch my videos as to get a feel of what I'm doing here. Working out, staying fit, having the right mindset, staying open-minded as to new ideas, but not so open-minded that your brain falls off and you end up becoming a, Antifa type of zombie. That's not the idea. A good start, this is actually something you can keep in mind. Start with your EDC. EDC is super popular. Yes, for lots of you guys, part of that will be a gun, a carry gun. If you can get a carry permit, you most definitely should. That should be one of your main goals. Guns are not exactly cheap, and yes, this is a Heckler & Koch P7 M8. It's not exactly a cheap gun. You probably want to go with a Glock, which is a lot more reasonable than this beautiful piece of German engineering. I digress. Start with your EDC. You don't need a super flashy EDC. You don't need to get a zero tolerance that costs like $200 or a Literman charge. Start with whatever is affordable for you. If that's a Kershaw like this one, this is a great little folder, very cheap, and it just cuts pretty much just as well as the zero tolerance. $17, $200 or God knows what these days. I'll leave the links below in case you want to check these out. But if that's something beyond your budget, just don't blow it. Just you get something that works, and you can combine that with some kind of affordable flashlight. You have a pile of cheap flashlights that just work perfectly well. Get yourself a nice folder, get yourself a decent flashlight, and start carrying that. I was talking with a friend the other day about he was just now getting started in all this prepper stuff, and he started EDCing a flashlight. He was blown out of his mind. Fernando, I'm using this all the time. This is great. I don't know how I live without this. Well, that's kind of like, how many of us started feeling when we started carrying this sort of thing. Multi-tool, these would be tools you want to get used to carrying like on a daily basis. Don't underestimate this though. This is one of the most useful tools in terms of preparedness. Money allows you to get anything you need, or at least most of the things you need. Money is definitely one of the more valuable tools you can have. If you combine enough of this with the right this, sky is the limit. You have lots of options out there. I don't want to get into exactly why is it that you want to get not only a passport, but if you can get a second passport, man, that is a second passport for a prepper, at least for the way I conceive preparedness in terms of more practical approach to it. This is more of a tool than the gun almost. Sure, there's things, especially these days with the violence now on the street, you want to get a gun as well, but the passport is just such a powerful tool in so many ways beyond what I could explain here in a video at this moment. I'll do a separate video, maybe. There's probably something already. Check on the search function for the channel. I've talked about second passports several times already. That's definitely something you want to check in your family tree if it is at all an option. Now, in terms of a carry gun, especially these days with everything going on, you're now seeing what I saw back in the day. You are now starting to understand many of the things that folks in the United States would go, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, you stupid foreigner. you're now seeing why you don't want to have a crappy little pocket gun, and you may be facing a crowd of people going after you. Maybe just one or two shots is, or a clip with a magazine with 7-8 rounds is not going to be enough. And yet, yes, this, by the way, is exactly that. 8 shots in that magazine plus 1 in the chamber. A Glock 19 makes a lot more sense, because you don't know exactly how many people may be about to beat you to death. Right? So these are all things you will have to adapt to and learn to live with. I don't see any of this going away anytime soon, guys. So if you are now getting started into preparedness, you are, this is the time. Coronavirus was serious enough. It was bad enough. This is worse, man. Yeah, it is. I'll just call it as I see it. You are seeing the collapse of a nation. You're talking about anarchy on the streets and the government doing nothing, and the president, man, I would have thought that Trump would have taken control of this right away. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's shock. I don't know if it's just he's being left alone by the Republican Party, or he just is not responding as, I guess, like many of you folks wish he had acted, at least by now. The idea of having entire blocks of a city in the United States of America abandoned to anarchists, and not only that, just abandoned and just made legitimized by the local government as, yes, take away your improvised checkpoints. We're going to be giving you a concrete one so as to get full control of this street. That just is crazy talk. I don't even understand how I'm doing this video right now talking about such a thing. It is amazing. Make no mistake, your world has changed in ways you're just starting to kind of somewhat understand. At least some of you, most of you just don't get it, because you couldn't possibly get the changes you're seeing right now. It is, it is a new crazy world out there where monuments offend people, where people go online asking for forgiveness for things they don't even know what they're asking forgiveness. I was just watching a clip on YouTube, actors asking for forgiveness for their white privilege or whatnot. That scene about those Democrats all dressed like the Lion King with the African scarves and all that bullshit, bending a knee. It is crazy world that you're seeing right now. So start getting your priorities sorted out, get prepared. Yes, a gun is definitely something you want to have, and maybe a rifle for home defense is also something you want to have before it gets banned by Black Lives Matter and only black people are allowed to own guns so as to fight those racist white people. And yeah, it is crazy, man. It is crazy that we ended up like this. Just prepare. Do what you are supposed to do. Do what you know you have to do so as to be ready for all of this. Folks, that's going to be all for now. Check the links below for some of this stuff if you want to check it out on Amazon. See you on our next video. Have a great day.